Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐥.
Hello guys, this is Vijay. I welcome you all to the ForumIAS 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐬𝐫 daily. In our today's news discussion, we are going to discuss the 5 topics in the slide. The first topic is well-known topic. It is a uniform civil code, right? So for past 2 weeks, we have been discussing multiple articles on the same topic. Today also it came in the editorial section. That's what I had taken up this article. And the second one, it is related to the data protection bill. A bill that fences in the right to information. So the data protection bill, it is going to amend the right to information. So the second article is also in the editorial section. Then third, fourth, fifth is related to the prelims topic. Then the third one is about the multidimensional poverty index. The 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐬𝐫 report, it stated that the multidimensional poverty has been reduced between the timeline of 2015 to 2019 in India. So this is the third article. Then 𝐂𝐻 cloud complex. This is the article related to the James Webb Space Telescope. And in this article, we will be seeing some basics about the 𝐂𝐻 and James Webb. Then the last article is about the air independent propulsion system. This is related to the DRDO. DRDO, they are going to collaborate with the French DNES for erecting the air independent propulsion system in their new Scorpion submarines, what they are going to procure from France. So these are all 5 articles we are going to discuss today. Now without any further delay, let us dive into the discussion part. This is the first article, guys, a common civil code spelling equality for every Indian, right? So here with respect to uniform civil code, we have been seeing multiple articles on the same topic for the past 2 weeks, right? Because the government is in a high time motive to bring the uniform civil code across the India. The author of the article is Pullappuri Balakrishna. He is a well-renowned economist. And with respect to uniform civil code, we all well known it is a part of DPSP. So the article 44, which is in the part 4, right? So part 4 refers DPSP. So Article 44 of the Indian Constitution, it states that the state shall endeavour to secure as citizen a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. So this is what the constitution makers envisioned. But we all well know the provisions of the DPSP are non-enforceable as like fundamental rights, which means if you want any remedy under DPSP means you can't approach the court. For any cases or for any issues with respect to the fundamental rights, you can approach the court. But with respect to DPSP, it is not possible because the provisions are not enforceable. So this is what it has been claimed under the Article 37 of the Indian Constitution, right? And the principles, what it has been provided under the DPSP are non-enforceable, but it can be used in country's governance. So while making any laws or any legislations, the government can imbibe the provisions of the DPSP, and while pronouncing any judgment, the court can take the tenets of DPSP, right? And with respect to uniform civil code, the union government, they asked the opinion of law commission. The law commission, they had provided some opinion to the government with respect to the uniform civil code. And with respect to India, we are having several personal laws, right? So we are having personal laws based on the religion. With respect to India, especially in a cultural landscape, we are having several religions, and we are having numerous personal laws governing those people who are coming under their religion. And we are well known, the religion, they are actually having a patriarchal mindset. It is not only applicable to Hinduism but also to Islam and Christianity also. So each and every religion, they provided some upper hand to the male gender. So the only a male can be considered as a karta or head of a Hindu undivided family. This is the classic example. So with respect to the personal laws in India, there is huge discrepancy between the rights between men and women. So men are entitled to numerous rights, but women are not. So this is what it has been described here. And one thing here the author has been describing about the underprivileges of the women. then he is quoting about the LGBT, right? With respect to women, he is stating that a Muslim woman, if he is divorced means, then he is not supposed to get the entitlement after a certain brief period. So only for few months or few years she is supposed to get the entitlements. So this is what the author has been describing here. And even among the tribal communities, there are numerous tribes are there in India, and even among the tribal communities, the prevailing customs and all have been taking a toll on the rights of women. So this is what he has been describing in this portion. Then with respect to the passive woman, if she is marrying someone outside their community means, then she won't be getting any share in the ancestral property, right? Then with respect to LGBT guys, the colonial rulers, they actually criminalized the act of LGBT. But in today's cultural world, we actually approved the existence of LGBT, and moreover, the courts, the government machineries, they have been striving for the freedom for LGBT. So by bringing the Uniform Civil Code, we can ensure the equal rights to women and LGBT communities also. So this is what the author have been describing in the subtitle, Laws That Are Boxed, right? Now let us discuss about the content in the matter of diversity. So in the matter of diversity, the author, he had thrown light on the Dr. Ambedkar's statement in the Constituent Assembly. So in the Constituent Assembly, Dr. Ambedkar is said to have expressed surprise that religion was being given as much importance when choosing India's political arrangements. We can see guys, in each and every legal enactments with respect to the personal laws, the influence of religion will be there, right? So this is the expression what Dr. B.R. Ambedkar made in the Constituent Assembly. Now, with respect to Ambedkar, he clearly stated that the people can embrace the Uniform Civil Code only if they are having a will. So, until the generation of the willpower from the people, we are not supposed to impose the Uniform Civil Code. So, this is the statement made by Ambedkar in the Constituent Assembly. But whenever the government is coming up with a Uniform Civil Code, the self-appointed head of the religious groups, which means the priest community will be there in each and every religion, right? They actually resisted calls for a common civil code. They had stated that, in the past also they had stated that it will take a toll on their religious freedom. But we can't allow anything to happen at the cost of women's freedom and rights, right? So this is the author's opinion in this portion. Then, a reform of their personal laws to end the gender discrimination, rendering them compatible with their democracy, would be no more than to seek balance between their rights and responsibilities. Which means, with respect to the personal laws, if we are codified on the basis of universal civil code means, then there won't be any gender discrimination, and each and every segment of the society will be getting their entitlements in a proper way, right? So this is the author opinion in this portion, and he is stating that the Uniform Civil Code and the personal laws what we are going to codify under the Uniform Civil Code, they need to imbibe the principles of the democracy and the constitution, which means there should be a principles of equality, liberty and fraternity in all these personal laws. So these are all the stuffs we need to imbibe in the Uniform Civil Code, right? Then he is stating that by infusing the Uniform Civil Code in Indian social fabric, we can alleviate the miseries of women and tribal people and the LGBT communities, right? Then in the conclusion part, bridging a gap, he is stating that while enforcing Uniform Civil Code, as like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar stated in the Constituent Assembly, we need to get the opinion of people. We need to infuse the opinion of people in tailoring the Uniform Civil Code, right? So this is what he has been describing here. While tailoring a Uniform Civil Code, we need to infuse the tenets of the judgments what the Supreme Court had pronounced for LGBT and what they had pronounced for the right to privacy. So these are all the stuffs we need to infuse in the Uniform Civil Code. Then only it will strengthen the social fabric of the country by eliminating the miseries which are suffered by the women, LGBT and other disadvantaged sections, right? So this is the author's conclusion. So with respect to this article, we need to know what are the benefits of Uniform Civil Code, right? So with respect to the benefits of Uniform Civil Code, the first thing is national integration, right? So in the Uniform Civil Code, we will be having the basic values of the democracy and the principles of equality, fraternity and all will be there. So it will promote the national integration. Then we will be overhauling our personal laws. So it will provide gender justice and equality. And the legal system will be reformed because we will be nullifying the laws which are acting as a detriment to the national integration and gender injustice, right? So these all legal enactments will be nullified. Therefore, there will be a simplification and a rationalization of legal system. Then the outdated regressive practices and all will be eliminated, like triple talaq, right? Then the Parsis women and all not getting a share whenever they are marrying outside their community, right? So these practices and all will be eliminated in the Uniform Civil Code, right? Now with this note, let us move on to the next article. This is the second article, a bill that fences in the right to information. So recently, Union Cabinet, they had approved the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill, and we all well known the draft bill was placed before the public, but the final bill was not placed before the public. So this is what the 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐥 Gandhi, the author of the article, has been stating here, and he is also stating that the two of its provisions are not changed, so it may lead to major regression for the democracy. We all well known the history of the RTI, right? It was enacted in the year of 2005 and it was enacted during the UPA government. And after several agitations by the civil societies, the bill, it came into enforcement. The bill, it clearly states that the right to information is a legitimate right of each and every citizens. So to fight the corruption, the active citizens, they have been using the provisions of RTI to nab the corruption from the government apparatus, right? And he is stating that the information officials who are in charge for providing the information to the public, they can deny the information under section 8(1)(j) of the RTI Act. So there are 10 subsections are there. So under those 10 subsections, the information what the citizens have been asking can be denied with a proper reason. And moreover, there is an acid test is there, right? So there is an acid test is there. What is that acid test? If you are not denying any information to parliament or state legislature means, then it shall not be denied to any person. So if you are denying any information to parliament or state legislature means, it should not be provided to the public. Why the act is having the provision? Because to ensure the smooth governance and to ensure the right to privacy of the officials who are working in the government apparatus, they actually inserted these provisions. But this provision has been misusing by the officials who are in charge of the Right to Information Act. So this is what he has been stating here. And he is stating that with respect to the RTI, in the past, there were several instances the information was denied. On showing light to the right to privacy, on showing the exceptions under section 8(1) of J, the information which are related to the beneficiaries from the PM fund, then bogus caste certificate, education certificate, then the details related to the ghost employee, then details related to the members of Legislative Assembly fund also. So, but certain honest officials, they had provided the information to the public. If it is not covering under the exceptions means, then in the past they had provided the information to the public. But the data protection bill, it tries to amend the provisions of the section 1J, which means section 8(1)(j) will be amended as such. There won't be any acid test. So it is going to bring the personal information into the provisions. So if it is amending in such a way means in the future, most of the information can be denied. And moreover, this amendment, it will provide the right to deny the information to the officials who are in charge of the Right to Information Act, right? So this is what the author have been describing. So the data protection bill, we need to know the history of the data protection bill, right? So in the year 2017, in the Puttaswamy case, the right to privacy as a legitimate right was pronounced by the apex court, which means the right to privacy, it forms a fundamental right and it is an integral part of the right to life what we are having in the Article 21 of Indian Constitution. So following the judgment, the government, it formed the B.N. Sri Krishna Committee in the year of 2017. So in the year of 2017, B.N. Sri Krishna Committee, it came into existence and it identified the user principles with respect to the data. What is meant by the user principles? People who are generating the data will be considered as a data owners, and the data fiduciaries. Who are these data fiduciaries? The data fiduciaries are nothing but the government agencies and the private agencies who are manipulating the data. So these data fiduciaries, they need to abide by the principles of the Puttaswamy case, right? So the right to consent was brought by the B.N. Sri Krishna Committee. If any beneficiaries, if they are having the consent means, then the government agencies can take the data from the concerned person. And moreover, the citizens, they are also having the right to deny the data. So if they are denying the data means, then we can't get the data from the concerned citizen. Then the right to forgotten principles. What is the right to forgotten principle? After the usage, the data need to be erased from the database. So this is the right to forgotten principle. So these all principles, it was brought by the B.N. Sri Krishna Committee, right? Then after that, the data bill 2019, it came into existence. The personal data bill 2019, it came into existence, but the personal data protection bill 2019, it was having certain controversial provisions which actually strengthened the hands of the police and the military agencies. Meanwhile, it breached their right to privacy of the citizens. So people were worried that there will be a mass surveillance once the bill came as an enactment. So then the government, it withdrew the bill in the year of 2022 and the fresh bill was submitted. The draft bill was placed before the public, but the final bill, what it was approved by the Union Cabinet, it hadn't been placed before the public. So this is the history of the data protection bill. Now with respect to this article, the author has been stating that if the amendment is made to the RTI means, then in the future there won't be any access to the information from the government apparatus. And it will strengthen the arms of the officials who are in charge of the right to information, and it will provide right to deny as a right to the officials who are in charge. So this is the description which was made by the author in this article, right? So with this note, let us move on to the next article. This is the third article. Niti Aayog report says 13.5 crore people lifted out of multidimensional poverty, right? So India has registered a significant decline of 9.89 percentage points in the number of multidimensionally poor people. So in the year of 2015 and 2016, we were having 24.85% of people under the multidimensional poverty. Now it reduced to 14.96 in the year of 2019 to 2021. So this is what the report has been stating. The report title is National Multidimensional Poverty Index, a Progress Review 2023, right? So in this article, they had been provided certain facts. Then with respect to the rural poverty, we witnessed a fastest decline. Previously, it was around 32.59%. Now it reduced to 19.28%. So this is with respect to the rural poverty. Mainly, it is due to huge reduction in the number of multidimensional poor people in states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha and Rajasthan, right? Then they had provided that with respect to the urban poverty, during the same period, it was reduced from 8.65% to 5.27%. So this is the reduction what we witnessed in the urban poverty. And within the urban poverty, Uttar Pradesh registered the largest decline in the number of poor with 3.43 crore people, they escaping the multidimensional poverty. So this is the statement made by the Niti Aayog. Then apart from that, states like Delhi, Kerala, Goa and Tamil Nadu, these all four states, they are having the least number of people who are facing the multidimensional poverty, right? So these are all the factual data what has been provided in the Niti Aayog report, right? So while writing the mains answer, we need to add these factual data in the answer sheets, right? So therefore we can do more value addition for the answer what we are writing. Then with respect to the multidimensional poverty index, this is a key international resource that measures acute multidimensional poverty across more than 100 developing states. And it was first launched in the year of 2010 by OPHI and the Human Development Report Office of UNDP. So it is a UN report. So it was first launched in the year of 2010 by OPHI and the Human Development Report Office of UNDP. And these multidimensional poverty index, it monitors the deprivations in 10 indicators which span from health, education, then standard of living, and it includes both incidence as well as intensity. So this is where it makes the multidimensional poverty index as a highly reliable data with respect to poverty. So these are the stuffs we need to know. Now let us have a look on the indicators and their weightages. So here we are having health indicator. Under the health we are having two sub-indicators. One is nutrition and another one is child mortality. So these two indicators, they are having a weightage of 1/6. Okay. Then here we are having the index related to the education. So under the education indicator, we are having two variants, the years of schooling and school attendance. So they are having 1/6 of the weightage. Each indicator is having 1/6 of the weightage. And in the living standards, we are having almost 6 indicators: cooking fuel, sanitation, drinking water, electricity, housing, and assets. So these all sub indicators, they are having weightage of 118, right? So among these 10 indicators, if the citizen is having 33% of deprivation within the indicators what they are providing under the multidimensional poverty index, means he will be considered as a multidimensionally poor citizen, right? So this is how MDPI measurements and all have been carrying out. Now with this note, let us move on to the next article. This is the fourth article, guys. So the article is all about the 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐬𝐫𝐢𝐛𝐞, right? So the Webb Space Telescope, it rediscovers star forming region. So this is the article, it came in the last page of the today's Hindu newspaper. And with respect to this article, we need to know some basics about 𝐂𝐶 because the term is unique, right? So in UPSC, you can expect the terms like this because they can give you the term and they will be asking what it is related to. Therefore, you need to aware of the terms and all. And here with respect to this article, let us have a brief about James Webb Telescope. So the James Webb Space Telescope, it is the result of 3 agencies, right? The first one is NASA, then the second one European Space Agency, then Canadian Space Agency. So these 3 agencies, they actually constructed and placed the James Webb Telescope in the L2 Lagrangian point. So the L2 Lagrangian point, it is almost 1.5 million kilometer from the surface of the Earth. So the space telescope, it is positioned above 1.5 million kilometer above the surface of the Earth, right? So the James Webb Space Telescope, it is operating in 2 ranges. One is visible and another one is infrared operations, right? And the NASA, European Space Agency, then the Canadian Space Agency, they actually sent James Webb Telescope to replace the Hubble telescope. Previously, we were using the Hubble and we were getting images from the Hubble, right? So the James Webb Telescope, it replaced the Hubble, and the Hubble telescope, it operated only in the visible ranges. But the James Webb Space Telescope, it is operating both in the visible and in infrared ranges, right? Then with respect to the 𝐂𝐶, it is a cloud complex and it is located near to the solar system. And near to the solar system, we are having 𝐂𝐶, and apart from that, there are several interstellar cloud systems are there, but they are locating far away from the Earth or the galaxy where we are living, right? So with respect to the 𝐂𝐶, it has been acting as a cradle for new stars or new asteroids, everything, right? So this is what it has been described in the article. And the 𝐂𝐶, it has been locating almost 460 light years away from the Earth, which means it will take some 460 years for light to travel between the Earth and 𝐂𝐶. And they are the closest star forming regions to the solar system. As I already told you, the 𝐂𝐶 is the closest star forming regions. So that's what the James Webb Telescope has been doing research on 𝐂𝐶. Now with this note, let us move on to the last article. This is the last article, guys, and DRDO's propulsion system in focus as India expects 3 more Scorpions. So in the year of 2015 to 2016, we signed a contract and we procured 6 Scorpion class submarines from France. And France DNES organization, they have been constructing the Scorpions and they have been supplying it to the Indian Armed Forces. With respect to DRDO's propulsion system, they were facing certain glitches, and these glitches will be resolved by the French DNES and the air independent propulsion, which is indigenously tailored air independent propulsion. It will be fitted in the Scorpion class submarines in the upcoming years. So this is what the article have been stating. Then in the past, we already had procured 6 Scorpion class submarines, right? So in the future, India expects 3 more Scorpions from the French DNES. So therefore, in those Scorpions, the air independent propulsion, which was designed by DRDO, will be fitted, right? So this is what it has been given in the article. With respect to Scorpion class submarines, we need to know what is meant by air independent propulsion system. So this is AIP. AIP refers for Air Independent Propulsion Technology. So it is a technology for conventional non-nuclear submarines. Generally, we are having 2 variants of submarines. One is conventional and another one is nuclear. For nuclear, we will be using U-235, U-239 as a fuel source. But for conventional, we will be using diesel as a fuel source. So the conventional submarines, they will be using diesel electric engines, right? So they need to come to the surface for filtering the atmospheric oxygen. Because for fuel combustion and all, they will be requiring the oxygen. So for daily, they need to come to the surface and they will be sucking the oxygen from the atmosphere. So these characteristics make conventional submarine more prone to enemies, because they will be watching the submarines with their radars, with their nuclear submarines and all, right? So they are more prone to susceptibility by enemies. So there comes the air independent propulsion technology. This air independent propulsion technology, it will be feeding the engines with the inbuilt oxygen generation mechanism. So the submarines, they won't be required to surface every day, rather they will be surfacing the water every week, right? So almost for every week they need to touch the surface of water only once. So it reduces the susceptibility of the conventional non-nuclear submarines, right? So that's what we have been fitting the air independent propulsion technology in the Scorpion class submarines, because Scorpion class submarines are non-nuclear conventional submarines. So therefore, the DRDO, they actually tailored the air independent propulsion technology what the countries like China, US are having, right? So almost 5-6 countries, they are having air independent propulsion technology, but the Naval Material Research Laboratory under DRDO, they had tailored their own version of air independent propulsion technology. It is the indigenous development, but DRDO have been facing several glitches in fitting the air independent propulsion technology in the Scorpion class submarine. Therefore, the French DNES, they will aid DRDO in fitting the indigenously built air independent propulsion mechanism in the Scorpion class submarine. So this is what the article have been stating. With respect to the fuel cell based air independent propulsion system, there will be a fuel cell in the air independent propulsion technology, right? So the electrolytic fuel, it will be releasing energy by combining hydrogen and oxygen with only water as the base product, ensuring less marine pollution. So the radars which are looking up for the thermal print, they won't be able to catch the conventional non-nuclear submarines who are having the air independent propulsion mechanism. So the cells are highly efficient and they don't have any moving parts, thus ensuring the submarine has a low acoustic emission of sound. So there will be low acoustic emission and there will also be a low thermal footprint. Therefore, the enemy radar, it won't be tracing the Scorpion class submarine, right? So finally, we are arriving at the end of the discussion. In our today's discussion, we have seen 5 topics. The first topic is related to the Uniform Civil Code. Secondly, it is related to the Personal Data Bill, and there we have discussed about section 8(1)(j), right? So the issues related to the section 8(1)(j) and the recent amendment and all we had discussed. Then thirdly, we had taken up an article related to the NITI Aayog's report related to the multidimensional poverty index, where we have seen about the factual information what they had provided in the article. Then we have seen about some basics of the multidimensional poverty index, then about the indicators. So these are the stuffs we had covered in the third article. Then in the fourth article, we have seen about the Ro-Opushi, which is a interstellar cloud, and apart from that, we have seen about the James Webb Space Telescope. Then in the last article, we have discussed about the air independent propulsion technology, right? So we can conclude the discussion part here. Now let us dive on to the question part. So this is the first question. Which one of the following is a reason why astronomical distances are measured in light? So the distances among the stellar bodies do not change. No, the stellar bodies distances and all will be changing every day. So this is not the right one. Then the gravities of the stellar bodies doesn't change. So this is also wrong, because each and every stellar body there will be having their own gravity, and these gravities are more prone to change based on their rotation and revolution. Then thirdly, light always travel in a straight line. This is not the right answer. But the last one, speed of light is same. This is the right answer. Whether within a material or in a vacuum atmosphere, the speed of light will be same. So this is the ultimate reason why we are using astronomical distances are measured in light years. So answer option D is the right one for question number 1. Biospinal A. BPA, a cause of concern, is a structural key component in the manufacture of which of the following kind of plastics, right? So they have given 4 options. First, we need to know what is meant by biospinal. It is a class A carcinogen, and it has been using as an additive in manufacturing certain kind of plastics. So even in Xerox copy, the Xerox pages and all will be there, right? So there the traces of biospinal A will be there. So while you are touching the Xerox, if you are taking any food or any drinks, means you need to wash your hand. Therefore, it will prevent the injection of the carcinogen into your body. With respect to this question, biospinal A has been used in the manufacture of polycarbonate plastics. So answer option B is the direct hit for the question number 2. This is the third question. This is with reference to the street lighting. How do sodium lamps differ from LED lamps? So I hope you would have seen the sodium lamps. They will be producing light in the 360 degree, right? But it is not so in the case of LED lamps. LED lamps, there will be strip, right? So it can't generate the light in 360 degree. So answer option A is right. Then the statement B, as street lights, sodium lamps have longer lifespan than the LED lamps. This is absolutely false, because LED lamps, they will be having longer lifespan than the sodium lamps. So often the sodium lamps, their lightning time and all have been between 40,000 hours to 50,000 hours, but for LED it is above 80,000 hours. So the LED lamps are having higher lifespan. Then the third statement, the spectrum of visible light from the sodium lamps is almost monochromatic, while LED lamps offer significant color advantages in street lighting. So this is also true. So the light output from the sodium lamp is monochromatic, but whereas from the LED is having several color advantages, there are multiple colors are possible. So the answer option 3 is also right. So 1 and 3 are right. Option C is the right one for the question number 3. Finally, we are arriving at the end of the discussion. I hope you would be liking the discussion. Kindly press the like button and subscribe us in all social media platforms. Thank you for your patience. Signing off, Vijay. Bye.